You have been my rock, Adaze. I was a fool once, but I thank the gods that I had you to guide me back.
Love is patient, Odogwu. Sometimes the heart stumbles, but what matters is that it finds its way home.
Once upon a time, in the lush village of Anuli, there was a young man named Odogwu. Odogwu was known far and wide as the handsome man in the land. His muscles were like iron, his skin glowed in the sun, and he had a smile that could melt the hearts of even the oldest grandmothers. Every maiden in the village dreamed of being his wife, but Odogwu's eyes were set on a kind, gentle young woman named Adaze. Adaze was not the most beautiful woman in the village, but she had a heart of gold. She was patient, caring, and wise, always helping those in need and caring for the sick and the elderly. Odogwu loved her laughter and the warmth of her soul, so he chose her as his bride. The people celebrated their union with joy and songs, for they believed they were witnessing the beginning of a blessed family. For the first few years, Odogwu and Adaze were very happy. They shared laughter and stories under the moonlight, and every evening, Adaze would prepare delicious meals for him with her own hands. She worked tirelessly to make their home beautiful and comfortable. They were blessed with two beautiful children. However, as the years went by, Odogwu began to change. He started spending more time outside, admiring the young maidens who had come of age and now flaunted their beauty in the village. In particular, his eyes began to linger on a young woman named Ekemma. Ekemma was known for her beauty. She was slim and tall, with a graceful way of moving that seemed to enchant everyone who saw her. Her skin was smooth, her waist was like the narrow path of the river, and her smile sparkled like the morning sun. Odogwu began to feel like Adaze was no longer as attractive as she once was. He noticed the slight wrinkles around her eyes from years of smiling, the softness in her body from bearing children, and the strength in her hands from years of hard work. He looked at Adaze one evening and sighed.
How did she become so different? She's no longer the beautiful young woman I married.
Eventually, Odogwu grew restless. He began to think that perhaps his happiness lay elsewhere. He convinced himself that a man like him, so handsome and strong, deserved to be with a more beautiful woman, and so he made a choice. Despite Adaze's love and loyalty, he took Ekemma as his second wife. Ekemma was everything Odogwu imagined: beautiful, charming, and full of energy. Odogwu was thrilled, thinking he had found the key to lasting happiness. For a time, life with Ekemma seemed perfect. She wore the finest clothes and decorated herself with beads and cowries, and everywhere they went, people admired her beauty. But as the days passed, Odogwu began to notice things he hadn't seen before. Ekemma was not as kind or gentle as Adaze. She cared little for his children, barely cooked or cleaned, and was often too busy admiring herself in the mirror to pay him much attention. Whenever Odogwu returned home tired, she would brush him off, saying she didn't want to mess up her fine clothes by preparing food or carrying water. Ekemma's beauty remained, but Odogwu began to feel a strange emptiness in his heart. He missed the warm meals Adaze used to make, the way she would sit and listen to his stories, and the laughter they shared together. He realized that Ekemma's beauty was only on the surface, while Adaze's beauty had come from her heart. One day, Odogwu fell seriously ill. He could barely move, and his body ached all over. Ekemma, unwilling to touch or tend to him, stayed in the other room, claiming she didn't want to catch his sickness. Odogwu lay on his mat, feeling cold and alone, his heart heavy with regret. That night, Adaze visited him. She had heard about his illness, and despite the pain he had caused her, she came with herbs, soup, and gentle hands. She sat beside him, mopping his feverish forehead and feeding him carefully. She whispered words of comfort, praying for his recovery. In that moment, Odogwu felt his heart break. He realized that he had left the true treasure of his life behind, blended by temporary beauty. Adeze cared for him until he was strong again. When he was well enough to sit up, he took her hands and wept.
Adaze, my dear wife, I have been a foolish man. I chased after beauty that fades, while your love and kindness were the true gems in my life. Please forgive me.
Adeze, in a gentle way, forgave him, though she reminded him of the pain he had caused her and their children. Odogwu vowed never again to let his heart wander from his true family. He soon ended his marriage to Ekema, who left without a single tear, and he returned to his family with a renewed sense of love and respect. From that day on, Odogwu cherished Adeze deeply. He taught their children the value of kindness, loyalty, and inner beauty. And the people of Anuli, hearing of Odogwu's experience, shared the tale far and wide as a warning to those who might be swayed by outward appearances. As the years passed, Odogwu and Adeze grew old together, their bond stronger than ever. Their children grew up seeing the love and unity their parents shared, and they learned from their parents' mistakes and lessons. One day, as they sat under the large Iroko tree outside their home, Odogwu took Adeze's hand in his eyes filled with gratitude.
You have been my rock, Adaze. I was a fool once, but I thank the gods that I had you to guide me back.
Adeze smiled, her eyes crinkling with warmth.
Love is patient, Odogwu. Sometimes the heart stumbles, but what matters is that it finds its way home.
As the sun set over the village of Anuli, casting a golden glow on them, Odogwu felt a peace he had never known before. He finally understood that he had been blessed all along, with a love that was pure and true. The villagers, seeing their unity, spoke of Odogwu and Adeze for generations, reminding others of the power of forgiveness, loyalty, and beauty that never fades. Moral lessons to get from this.
You must know that true beauty lies within. Outward appearances can be deceiving. It's the inner qualities of a person that truly matter. Cherish loyalty and kindness. Those who love and care for us through thick and thin deserve our respect and commitment. Do not be blinded by beauty, it's vanity. Vanity can lead to poor decisions that may harm not only ourselves, but also those who genuinely love us. Contentment always leads to happiness. Learn to appreciate what you have. Often the happiness we seek is right before us.